I am Eon. It is Sunday, November 2nd, 2025 as I record. Just to put a timestamp on things, let's look ahead to sci-fi, grimdark, and all the fun futuristic cyberpunk things that you could be getting in November 2025. 3D Art Guy has special releases for their tribes, and this month the tribes are getting gunships. Well, nothing small, right? So there's a couple of different types of gunships depending on what type of trooper you may want, and it does come with a couple of troop types to go with those as well. Wow, not a small release at all. Admiral Apocalypse hasn't really given us any previews just yet, but we can see from the roadmap that we'll be getting Plagued Industry, which to me sounds like science fiction, so we'll come back and check on that soon. Aftermath Studios is doing models based on Walking Dead and Left 4 Dead Part 2. Apparently, the Walking Dead models are specifically coming from Season 1. Here we see Glenn and Lori, as well as, I guess that's Rick Grimes and then Shane, or vice versa. Which one's 22? Well, Rick's got the badge, right? And then apparently these are Left 4 Dead Part 2, Charger, Jockey, and Scream. Maybe not in that order, but, and they do want to possibly get some other characters from Walking Dead Season 1 added as well. Anvil Digital Forge has high-tech sneaking suits for their monthly release. And these were the early previews. For the loyalty reward, which I think is 2 months, is Hellkin. Here are some more detailed looks at these high-tech sneaking suits. You can see all the multi-shell models, the head, the torsos, the legs, and all the different weapon options. So many things that you can do with these models. They also have several tiers that you can back them at as to whether you want the mono pose or if you want all the modular bits. Obviously, the modular is a little bit more pricey. For the Hellkin loyalty reward, this is apparently how it will go together based on their graphic. Arcane Whiskers has given us a small look at a few models. We have Malice, devotee of the old gods, part of the Unseelie, and then a data guzzler. Reminds me of the show Reboot. For some terrain, we have a cooling tower and a modular mega capacitor, and those go together with like open lock clips or something similar to those. There's a generator and a water block, so like a cooler, I think, or chiller. Modular cable pillars, and shows you how they go together and how you can put them together. And then all together, this makes the colony power generator. Next up is Archvillain Games. Archvillain Games has done Sons of Hellas Black Phalanx. So here is Kerberos. So I guess a three-headed kind of dog like Cerberus. Black Hoplite. Depending on the model, they usually do up to 10 variations on these different weapons. That's a different looking hammer. Here's and Black Hoplite number 9. There's a Black Shield. Netherworld Conclave. Araignées, and these come with a melee option and a ranged option. Melee option, ranged option. Melee and ranged. So not very different, but different enough that it warrants, really it's a different model. Netherhounds, which apparently are robotic critters, and a Netherworld's Savant. Is he floating? Grim Wars has given us a little bit of preview of some Wrath Demons. I believe these are intended for Trench Crusade, which is why I'm putting them over here. Yeah, he's got a pistol for an arm. Maybe he calls it his boomstick. Beyond Space is getting difficult for me to figure out what's each month's release. I'm pretty sure Bloodforged Hellspringer is for the month of November. And in November, they released here Bloodforged Hell Knight Warden Loadout, which I feel like we've already looked at, but I could be wrong. I believe Bullet Basilica is new to my videos. I'm always adding new things in as I can. Here we see the Mistress of the Bomb and some infantry. Again, very Trench Crusade inspired models here, in my opinion. Claudio Casini Art usually does at least one science fiction model a month, and this month it's the Cyberpunk Bouncer NPC. Again, I believe this is some sort of ape critter, just judging by his feet that look more like hands. Cyberforge has got a weird release this month, in my opinion. I believe their Titan City Stories is really just a couple of models, and this is the Demir Bull. And I mean, yeah, that's a heck of a model. And then there's the Hornet Knight as well. Okay, so we probably don't really need that many models in the Titan City Stories. For Grim Realms, we have Black Knights. Here's the Black Knights Adjudicator. Justice is blind, so is he. Triumphant Knight, who is apparently got all sorts of cherubs around him. I wonder if those are actually supposed to be living creatures. Black Knight's Blade Masters. These either come with sword and shield or some sort of ranged weapon and shield. I was going to say pistol, but those don't all look to be the same type of ranged weapon. There's also a couple of civilians that seem to be yeah, a little bit more indentured than your normal civilian. Dakka Dakka has put out the Marduk Tribe Warrior as a free model. This is their free November model. So if you go over to their page, you can go and click and check out this model and pick it up. Here is the full release of November. We're going to be looking at this more as the month goes on because they'll be releasing more as the month goes. Spore Morph Hunter is the Titan of Mankind tier. Keep that in mind. Here's the Arcamech Engineer and Persecutors Contrakeens, Persecutors Shredkeens, Light and Heavy Mech-Tars, Space Lair Airborne Anchorites, Yumi Matsu the East Wind. Really nice model. Could almost be fantasy. And here is the Spore Morph Hunter. So yeah, that's what I kind of figured, was that this is probably the Titan of Mankind model. And well, he's got a leg in his hand and a torso, and where's the rest of him? Well, Dungeons and Dreadnoughts has given us this preview look of miniatures to come. I'm not sure what to call them, so we're not even going to try. Some very nice general armored characters, though. Very nice mech here, along with some, well, some sort of dog. Bar guests, maybe. And, yeah, is this supposed... I think this is Godzilla again, isn't it? Maybe. Like a chibi Godzilla. Edge Miniatures has given us this preview. I'm really excited for this set because the Cursed Elf gunships over there on the left. So the Tech Pirates, these are dark suit dual swords. And you can see the Cursed Elves have an entire repertoire of heads along with weapons this month. For the 8mm range, you can get these little gunships, and they come in several different varieties. In addition to the variety of the ship, you can change out the different gunners, you can change out the different, well, pilots or wheels, and you can also change out the sails that you would like to put on the ship as well. For the 8mm range, there's also the Skyborne Scavengers, Heavy Beast Leaders, and we'll probably see some more updates from Edge as the month goes on. 8LEG Miniatures has given us this look of these goblins with various weapons and such, along with a look at some axes, which may not be overly sci-fi, but you know what? Tested and true, it works. Along with these couple of models here. So still a lot of work in progress style models. Along with these scarabs. Or something like that. That's what I'm calling them. That's not necessarily what they are. Flesh of Gods Miniatures, I usually put in the fantasy videos, but the Necroforge kind of fits in this one here. This could easily be science fiction. Here's a Lich Engine and Necrotech Wyvern, Bone Grinder Titan, and Flesh Golem Machinist, Forge Drider and Steam Wraith, Spine Reaper, which looks an awful lot like a Xenomorph, and Vathar Neurotech Master, Flesh Auditor, Necrotech Acolyte 1 and 2, Necrotech Brute, Forge Engineer, and some Candlemen. Now, the Candlemen maybe not so much science fiction, but I don't know. Here's our heroes: Arcana Bronze Fists, Braith the Cogbreaker, Axis the Forgeborn Barbarian, Dagran the Forgeborn Rogue, and Albrecht the Steam Priest. Forbidden Prince, I believe this is their November release, is Ruins of the Empire. They're still waiting to put out better renders, and we'll definitely look at those when they do get released. Ghamak has given us some preview art. Definitely be looking forward to more of this soon. Heroes Infinite by Raging Heroes has doing Dragonborn versus Sulfur Dwarves. Now, this may be a fantasy release, and I don't know. This is that gray line where I can never decide. So I'm gonna put just a few of the models from that. If you want to see all the models, go look. Well, most of the models, go look at my fantasy video. But what do you think? Karzel of the Thousand Horns, maybe, as well as Sereth Flame Shadow Bard. But then you start to see Kurdok the Blessed, Gladiatrix Velkara of the Red Sands, and you're probably thinking, Eon, I'm not seeing what you're seeing here. But then if you look at the weapon that Zarya Skullforge the Artificer is holding, that looks like a gun. Here is Yilgrin Bronze Weaver Engineer. I mean, granted, her axe not so much, but she's got wrenches and all those things, and she's got some sort of robot creature with her. Maybe it's just magical, I don't know. Here's Kurdok the Blessed again, but on an obelisk horn. You can't tell me that doesn't look like it's more machinery than magic. Here's a Sulfur Gunner, and the centerpiece is just really cool. I mean, you can't, I don't know, it reminds me of Darth Vader's home. Here's Sulfur Gunners, Sacred Horns, and a Sulfur Steel Suit. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I could easily see this being a science fiction release versus a fantasy release, but you could probably do whichever one you want. As well as some pretty cool modular scenery that goes along with this, and it definitely has like, I don't know, Metropolis vibes to it or something. M3 Desion has models that go all over the place, and several of the models are definitely science fiction. Orca's Goblin Slingers, perhaps, the Orca's Nailers for sure, I'm pretty sure, as well as some of the Teethies. A couple of them have chainsaws coming out of their heads. Kill Me for Prizes Designs has only given us this preview so far, and pretty excited to see these models. They do, again, epic style models, and they are doing 4 factions usually each month, and we'll look forward to seeing what they release. Kyoushuneko Miniatures has given us just some concept inspiration boards. Soviet Maidens of War. Kind of see what they're going for here, as well as apparently certain weapons that they intend on seeing being used. Sound Cannon. Wonder if that's based in real world or not. Loot Studios has not done their release yet. It's not the 15th yet, but they'll be doing Decaying Universe. Tarek Harlow, Engineer, and you'll be getting this terrain. So it looks like we're kind of going for, you know, broken down Space Hulk sort of thing. Here's a Gormorph Sentinel and a Gormorph Hydra. So we can kind of get the theme or the flavor of the baddies, if you would. The bad guys. Lost Heresy Miniatures is doing basically a set of generic science fiction themed characters. Colonists, rebels, armed civilians. They can basically just be used in whatever way you want to use them. He's working very diligently to get this finished up, and apparently the Highlander officer for Silver Bayonet is done, needs to be finished, and another figure as well. So still a bit of work in progress, but just kind of give you an idea for the month. The Maker's Cult is done their previews for November, and we're going to look at this very briefly. A lot of this is concept art. Daughters of War Aspirants, Universal Guard Artillery, and I wasn't sure what to call these just yet, so I didn't even bother trying to look them up. And wow, that is a really cool tank. They have one of these like printed out and painted up on their page. I didn't include it here for the sake of brevity, but really nice models here. Laborer's Exerloader Suit. Iron Hive Iron Shrieker. Okay. And some sort of robots. They have interesting looking heads. Very unique and yet very reminiscent of several others we've seen. Mantic Vault is not as big as it has been. I think maybe they're scaling it back a little bit, which I'm actually kind of okay with. But so here's what we can see for the whole release. Here for Firefight, we have Asterian vehicle upgrades. So you can change out some of your vehicles with some different weapons and not have them all look the same. And this for Dead Zone is an Asterian Shuvatar. Marchen Atelier has shown us Krahi Dre Volkar Assault Rust Bunker. Comes with a couple of different weapon options, if you notice the gun on the front there. In addition, we also see the Grenade Sappers from the Volkar Empire and Volkar Empire hero Tactician Lord Gizmo. Is he riding a sheep, I think? Modern Miniatures is doing an X5 SUV and an H2 SUV. These are printed and painted really well done. I like the look of these. For their My Mini Factory Tribe, they're doing the Boxer IFV, so there's a special miniature there for that group. They also have the CRBN Kill Team, and they're starting to put this together along with the PKP machine gun, 3 of the 4 different designs they intend, and we'll see more of this as the month goes on, of course. Moid has done some work in progress, so some new SciFi tiles for their Isobits collection. I have actually printed a few of these, and they work pretty well. I need to reach out to Moid and talk to them and see if it's intended for you just to put the filament as the little pegs to hold them together. There's also this Walker or mech that is currently in design as well, and should hopefully actually be released pretty soon, or at least some complete renders of it. Mr. Modulork has had a pretty busy October, so nothing new really posted yet. The free tier model for November, though, has been posted, so if you want to grab this little guy, feel free to go do so. NPC Forge is usually more fantasy-based, but they tend to go on the realm of steampunk. And so I included them here because if you look at these characters, I see what looks to be like a gun, and I see what really looks like robots and cybernetics and stuff like that. So, yeah, maybe more steampunk, and this is all that's been released so far. So, yeah, we'll put it here in SciFi. One Page Rules has not put out their official releases yet, renders yet, so we still have the work in progress of these Goblin Scavengers with their jetpacks, as well as some on foot with pistol and dagger. Oshouna Minis has put out these images of their November release. The Deep Hive Motherbug, Doomed Empire Trailed Platform, and 3 Doomed Empire spell models. Okay. Papsikels has quite a big release, and they've actually updated things from the last time I looked at the preview. Hold on, buckle in, here we go. Young Outcast Skull Hunter deck comes in several different versions. There's also several Skull Warriors. Now, there are renders of every one of these if you want to go check out Papsikels. We're not going to waste the time to look at that when you can look at all of them in one picture here. And yet, then, when I do the Human Jetpack Reapers, I go in and, yeah, we're going to look at each one of those. Well, a couple of them at least. Really cool backpacks. Big backpacks. Abomination Flesh Mob comes in a couple of different sculpts. Alien Earth Xenomorph. So these are the Xenomorphs from the TV show Alien Earth. And thanks to my viewers for explaining that to me. I've been getting that series ready to watch, but I haven't watched it just yet. I started it, but didn't get very far. SEF Army Corps Comms Infantry 2 and 3, 4 and 5. And here's the EAT Infantry. There are several versions of these. Army Corps Infantry. So just lots of really nice generic sci-fi models depending on any type of game like this that you'd want to play. Cybernetic Walker Stalker kind of throws me off with just having the one arm on the side there, but I'm pretty sure these are inspired by the Dragoons from StarCraft. I could be wrong, but that's what they strike me as. The head on the side is what's throwing me off, though. For their Cyberpunk release, we have Alpha's Kuga High Performance Combat Suit, Master Control Program 2, Ancient Papsinoid Regalius, a few different sculpts, an apprentice of Hero Program Kevin, so obviously inspired from Tron. This is characters from Tron. She also comes on a bike as well. For K-pop Demon Hunters fans, we have Concert Demon Idol Abby, comes in a couple of different poses, as well as Idol Baby, Genu, Mystery, and Romance, because they are a 5-member boy band. Here is Evil Aptom. Comes in a few different sculpts. Going back to K-pop Demon Hunters, they just added this demon companion. So this was a character in the show. This demon cat that wasn't really mean. It was just a demon cat. And it had this bird with it that liked to wear a hat. And that was pretty much how they do. And oh, look, G.I. Joe. Cobra Snow Serpent Troopers. All right, I always liked seeing the G.I. Joes released. Okay, I'm not quite so upset over my subscription now. That's what I was in here for, was these Cobra G.I. Joes. And we've still got some more Tron figures here. Here's Master Control Program and Program Kevin. Kevin comes also in a bike form as well. Here's Superhuman Mutant Zet. And that seems to be it from Papsikels. Piper Makes has V2 Solus class Void Frame. Here's like all the different options that you can print off and then assemble. And here's some of the results of how you can assemble those. Fishmech Reruns Commander Frame. You can see here a couple of renders of these as well. Piper makes just amazing, amazing stuff. Print Minis has given us a little bit of a preview. The Mother Noble House Orsini. Preacher Guards for the Noble House Orsini. Pyroclast Furnaces, and they gave us some other work-in-progress renders, so I put this one in, but the others we'll look at them when we get the full release. Printerra Studios has only given us the one preview image so far, and that's the Mechanized Servants. A lot of detail on that shield. Project Mobius has done medium assault spaceship, the bridge of that ship. I believe this has been released progressively over several months, and here you can see the bridge of said ship with spaces for all the various characters. I guess I should get to printing. And then here are some other options as well. Proxybrewer is doing assault team kits, and I believe it's the models, not the weapons that you're getting here. I could be wrong. These guys on the left are the Omni Guard, and the ones on the right are the medieval trenchers. I mean, they look medieval, right? So that's got to be right? These are Skyfire Nomads. I do definitely verify those. Oh, and the Ceremonial Guard. And why am I just now realizing that the title is at the top of the image? I didn't even look at that. Wow, I feel stupid now. PS Miniatures has doing these Space Elves. I tried to include them all on one picture when I could, but their images are so large. You know what? I'm going to give up. There's what it looks like up close and from afar. Up close and from afar. And, you know, no helmet or helmet option. RPG Figures has Jabba the Frog. That's Jabba the Frog. Not to be confused with other Jabbas you may know. Skullforge Studios has given us their preview image here. So apparently the creator of Skullforge is playing Ghosts of Yote and is enjoying it. So we may be seeing some stuff from that. A new Arsenal MCV. Take on the E.C. Henry Clone Walker. Gave Visions Season 3 a watch and were absolutely impressed. Protocol and Raider class Imperial gunship as well. So lots of things to expect from Skullforge. Trader's Galaxy has given us some preview images for Bot War Mercs Part 2. Kind of cool to see the red Cannoneers options there too. So different weapon choices for your bots. This is Sharkarok, an exclusive for Bot War. And then for the Rise of the Democracy, a Coils Battalion. With, I'm assuming that guy second from the right is a scientist with hair like that and goggles, but I don't know. Txarli Factory has shown us some more ruined tanks, which is, you know, a good way to put out the battlefield. Perhaps we've come back to avenge some fallen brothers. So here we can see a couple of these tanks pretty close up, and yeah, so just good places to hide your models behind. UGLYmini has put out Chitinous Swarm Part 1. So here is the Devastator. It's a very big backpack, if that's even a backpack. Cleavers. Drone Operator, which is kind of ironic because, you know, they're like bugs and he's controlling drones. Eliminators. Wow, look at the tails on those things. It's like for balance. Grenadiers. Heavy weapons guys. You go ahead, guys. I like the fact they have a horn, like a rhinoceros horn. And these are Impalers. Inspired by mosquitoes, maybe? Probably. Unit 9 Miniatures this month is doing primals. So here we see Carbon Fang. Here's Jackal. Howl Runner is their, what would you call that? Like a plane? Here is Kodiak Zero. Like Dr. Octopus meets a bear. Ravenware. That is a very odd face for a bird person, but then again, it kind of fits. And Stingray. Lagbite. I'm assuming this is more robot than anything else. As well as some street bollards and some gaming mats that you can print off on your 2D printer. Vermillion Miniatures has only given us this small preview. The model will have wide customization options, interchangeable backpacks, weapons, heads, and additional accessories. So hopefully as the month goes on, we'll get to see more of this really cool model. Atlantic Digital has given us some preview models. I didn't bother trying to label them because it's still early in the month. So here we have some sort of little gunship, I suppose you would call it, along with, are these flying nuns? I'm not sure what exactly these are. That's the different headgear there. Warmachine has put out Dominated Winter Core and a Dominator. Athenor Lock, Crucible Guard SR 2025 Objectives. Defenses and Terrain Pack. And we'll look a little bit of some of the terrain really quickly. That is a Storm Relay Tower, a Bastion Wall, Arc Discharge Node, Ammo Dump, Relay Crates, Defense Barricade and a Hill, Lightning Forest, a Research Station, Storm Turbine Debris, and Wrecked Warjack Parts. Well, folks, that is our first look into science fiction for the month of November 2025. Science fiction, like models, tends to update quite a bit as the month goes, and it's still really, really early in November, thankfully. So we've got a ways to go and a lot more models to look at as they appear, and I'll do my best to keep on top of that for you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.